we're going to jump on over. We're going to jump on over to this here because we're going to check out people's work. Might see if Marvin's ready to chat as well. Increase the size of that. All right. All right, let's decrease this. Damn, that'd be loud. Yo, 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 how we doing? Okay, let's do this. All right. Let's check out this. Alfarius is typing. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. All right, we've got Nick. Nick with some Marines. Who's also picked up magnifying glasses. That's always good. That'll help. That'll help those edge highlights for sure. Shane's Road to Arc. Oh, this is the Talan. More Talan. The old school Talan. Look at that. If it's a full army of... Oh no, what have I done? Mistakes have been made. Right. Let's bring this back up. I swear I know what I'm doing. Hang on, why did that... Why did that close? That's strange. It's just being silly. There we go. There we go. I'll get us back on track, guys. Don't worry. Maybe. Or not. I'll bring it up here. That's much easier. Cool. All right. Gimli. Gimli in Nath's classic pastel colors. And he's got Gimli written on him. Is that like Supreme, is it? Gimli. Like the brand? I've got some feedback from your mic too, FYI, Marvin. I can hear myself.
Oh, sorry.
Alfarius.
Yeah, I'm listening to stream because I can't hear you through Discord.
Why can't you hear me through Discord?
You're not transmitting for some reason on Discord.
Okay, this is really good. Audio, video, output. How about now? Oh wait, hang on. Input.
That's your output.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sick. Better?
Awesome. Yep, a lot better.
I don't know why that was like that. Let's go back up here. Road to Arc. We will continue. Gimli, the Supreme Gimli. Alfarius is me. Honeybeard. Yeah, dude, you should go, bro. You're going to confuse me with everyone's names. Are you going to do Kill Team? Is that what that's for, Honeybeard? Is that what you're saying?
Does look like the Night Lord Kill Team.
Yeah. Yup. All right. Let's jump on over to the Road to Arc. Let's jump on over. What's that?
I found it really hard to find on their website directly. It's easy to find through Facebook. I also threw it in the general chat as well.
What's that?
The Road to Arc pack.
Oh, it's easy. You go up to Arc40k and then 25 players pack.
It's not on their main page or anything. I actually struggled to find it myself.
Yeah, if you just go to arc40k.com up here.
Yeah.
Arc40k.com, just go to the Arc40k 2025 players pack. It's the same on a mobile device too, except you just got the little 3 lines to find Arc40k. But let's run through this players pack. This is for people that have never been to Arc or don't know what Arc is about, because it isn't your standard uber competitive tournament. Well, that's what it's not. It's not what it's geared towards. There are definitely people that go and try and play like that, but for the most part, majority of players, that's not what they do.
And you'll see in this how they judge that as well. It's not just like, oh, it's got to be for fun, and then they kind of let it go loose. You are scored depending on how you play.
Yep. So I guess we'll just read it out. So, welcome to Arc40k 2025, the premier Warhammer 40k event in Australia. It really is. Definitely in Victoria. It is a unique event because it aims to celebrate the complete Warhammer hobby, as it presents a challenging gaming experience, yet includes both sportsmanship and balanced, themed, well-presented armies. Each player will need to demonstrate sound tactics, decisions, and thoughtful unit selections to meet the challenges of the bespoke missions before they win any games. So it's a tournament where you get scored for absolutely everything. So it's not just solely on wins. There are people that have won absolutely every single game, and they may have an awesome painted army, but if you go in and you aren't a great sport, then you're probably not going to finish on top. You need to tick all the boxes when it comes to the aspects of the hobby. Succeeding in all these areas at the event is challenged by only a few. In the end, only one will prove worthy and be crowned champion of 2025. They obviously haven't updated that for a bit. So yeah, rumor has it that we were asked, Battleforge Gaming were asked, because they knew that if I competed this year, I would be crowned champion this year, and they just they keep trying to stop me from going, but one day. So event essentials, you guys can look at this stuff. It tells you where the event is happening. It tells you at what time the event is happening. Right here, the players pack, contact us. Someone was asking before about the conversions. This is where you want to ask questions. If you've got any queries about, like, hey, is my kit bash or my conversion too much? This is where you ask. All right.
100%.
Do you want to run us through the army composition or some of it, Marvin?
Yeah, I can run through some of it. Yeah, I'll just go from the top. So yeah, armies must be battle forged according to the Warhammer 40k core rulebook and the Strike Force guidelines set out by the Leviathan Grand Tournament Pack. When you build your army, you should use chapter-approved prior Nexus mission packs. Players may use rules found in the following Games Workshop and Forge World publications.
Cutoff date.
Yeah, they've listed them there, so I won't worry about listing them. People can go through and have a look at those because they've got the website there as well with the FAQs.
Yeah, it's basically all the sort of like crossing the T and dotting the I's when it comes to what data slates and all the rules you can take.
Yeah.
And
they're not doing Legends again this year.
Yeah. There is one little point I was reading today. It was to do with the early release codexes. So like there's going to be one for the Emperor's Children. I got the one for the Blood Angels. You sort of get a codex a couple of months early if you purchase the box early, like the special boxes. So it was the Death Company box that I purchased, and I got the Blood Angel codex early. They're not allowing those codexes, so the codex has to be out and purchasable by everyone. Yep.
Yeah, that way people can have a look at it.
Yeah,
which is fair enough.
Yeah, totally. And so it's the same points as last year, 1350. So it's not your regular 2K. I think it's a fantastic number. It's enough for you to be able to bring some fancy toys and some battle line units to hold some objectives, which I personally think is how Arc's meant to be played. Like you want to take some of your regular battle line to go do the stuff they're meant to do, and then take some fancy stuff, and then see how you go. Take a well balanced list, and I think you will score quite well if you do that. But 1350 You go, sorry.
Yeah, and it gives you more time to paint as well. You know, if you're not painting up to 2,000 points, so you can spend the time to paint your army up because you are scored on that as well.
Yep, yep, exactly. And 1350 is a fantastic way to get your 2K done because it's like 2/3 of the way.
Yeah, it's a good stepping stone.
Yep. Awards, heaps of awards, heaps of awards.
Yes.
So
I don't even think they list all of them on there either.
well, they've got a bunch that are just thrown in there. So there's obviously the winner of the overall event, the Mark Morrison Trophy. There's the People's Champion. So interestingly here, awarded to the player with the best painted army as voted by peers. As voted by peers. Then we've got the best sport. So that was the one that Nath was talking about. He wants to get that for the Middle Earth. The Executioner, so highest battle score. So there is a prize for the person that gets the best battle score, and then there's just like a whole bunch of other ones. The top 5 runner up overall, the best army presentation, the best themed army, the 5 runner up for battle sportsmanship army presentation, the player's choice, highest place guy that didn't win anything, best noob. So I'm gonna aim to get that and the Mark Morrison. Every 10th player gets something, and there's like a stack of players. Veterans get something, the Hall of Fame, and then there's just like potential, just like prizes, just for the hell of prizes.
Yeah,
which is great. So there's 6 games, just over 2 hours. So 15 minutes to set up, whatever, and then you get into it. So this is where you start to get your points. This is where you start to get scored, right? And you get scored by, I think there's judges when it comes to playing for fun, because I think this is your list creation. So you get voted points for how hard your list is. If you go in with, let's say you've been watching some of the Wargamers Live. If you go to Wargamers Live and you're like, oh wow, that Necron list with the hypercrypt where they can teleport up and down, that looks pretty badass. It is badass, but it's also very, very strong. So you will typically get downvoted points. So we'll read through this little bit here. So games of Warhammer 40k are decided by who achieves the most victory points. So your overall play for fun score is directly related to how well you play the missions and focus, truly being a great general. Oh, sorry. It'll be the next part I was talking about. So you get 50 points maximum for your primary, and you get 40 for your secondary. That one's pretty simple. That one is...
and they average those points out as well across your 6 games. Yep. So it's not... so if you do fantastic in one game and not so good in the other, it is averaged out. It's not like put it together as a total towards the end.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to do it.
Yeah, so say like here, it says, so winning or losing is less important than seeking to maximize your battle score by ensuring you secure all the victory points you can in every game. Every point scored will increase the average. Your opponent's score has no bearing on your play for fun score.
Yeah, so you can still lose a lot of your games, but get a high point scoring game every single time and do really well by the end of it.
Yeah. So they go through how you paired as well and the submissions of scores. We'll move down to Don't Be That Guy. So this is the one I was talking about here. So you got a maximum of 90 points. This is the one to do with sportsmen and just being like a fun opponent. That's what you want to aim to be. You want to aim to be a fun opponent. So you get marked 1 to 10, and then again, the best. I think the best score and your worst score for your sportsmanship gets taken out as well, and you have to go to a TO. If you're like, hey, the dude I'm playing is a 1, you've got to chat to the TO about it.
It needs to be verified. Yeah.
So
Which is good too, because it'll stop people like purposely, hopefully, throwing a one or a two in there just for the sake of it.
yeah, I think what in this hobby it can be. You often see it happen if someone's just having a bad game, and they may potentially score someone lower. Hopefully, that isn't the case. Like, look outside the game that you're playing, realize that maybe some of your dice rolls haven't gone your way, and your opponent is actually a pretty chill opponent,
Yeah.
and vote them that way. Don't just be like, oh man, my dice rolls are going bad. This dude's pumping me. I'm going to vote him a 4. When in actual fact, the he might be a genuine guy, and he could be a 7 or 8. So just look at it.
And it's the luck of the dice.
Yeah. Yep. That's February 2023, so we don't need to look at that one. That is one of the missions. The missions haven't been released yet, and I don't think they get released until maybe right before.
I think it's pretty close to, yeah.
This is the one I like. The Forged for Fun. So this is your list. I might get you to read. We might read through the whole thing for this. So start with the essentials here.
The essentials, yeah. So when filling out the Forge for Fun in Arc Score, you choose the statement that you feel best represents how fun your opponent army was to play. When you calculate your total Forge for Fun score, the highest and lowest scores will be removed and substituted by the average of the remaining 4 scores. The advice is to stay the same as how we ask you to score sportsmanship and score the army, not the game result. So much like what you were saying before.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So you vote your opponent's list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at this. You also get, you can also get sort of a little bit downvoted if your list isn't strong enough. If you're coming in too weak, that could be me. That could most definitely be me.
Yeah.
Here's the one we all care about. This is the one, guys. This is the one. So
be important.
Yeah. So be a good sport. Have a good list, and then this one. So essentials. Now I will touch on this one because there's a point scoring system. So essentials. Paint your army. We endeavor to get great photos of all of the top armies, but you can also share your work via the Arc40k Facebook page or on Instagram using hashtag Arc40k. Now, I think we're going to try and get Imsy there to take some really good photos of some armies too. So we will also be taking photos of people's stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Paint your army. Creating, painting, and presenting your army is a significant part of preparing for and participating in Arc40k Weekend. Your points for painting and the theme are combined and contribute to your overall 40k event score. Both categories play a vital role in determining where you will find in the overall rankings. This year, I've done away with the pass or fail painting checklist. Ooh, okay, this is new. With more nuanced sliding scale in each category, you can earn a varying number of points based on what my team and I feel best represent the efforts and creativity you've put into each section of your army. While we acknowledge that this system is inherently subjective, that's one thing I always say, that miniature painting is subjective. If someone paints heavy metal, I'm normally going to like it more than another style, but doesn't mean I don't respect and admire other paint styles. The goal is to inspire and encourage participants to push their boundaries and showcase their passion for the hobby. We want this approach to reward not just technical skill, but also creativity. Oh, see, I don't have that creativity. I got that technical skill. Storytelling and the overall cohesiveness of your army's theme. Whether you're a seasoned painter or someone taking their first steps, this system is designed to celebrate and support your journey in this hobby. That is from Damien, the head painting judge, which I think, is he the guy we're having our chat with on Tuesday?
Let me double check.
I'll read if you just, I'll keep reading if you find out who that is. All right. So creating, painting, and presenting theme with your army is a significant part of preparing for. Hang on, wait. I've just read that. I read that before. You've doubled up there. You've got me. You got me. So both are important where you will find yourself. Hang on, that's also been repeated. We recognize 3 best awards for painting and presentation: best painted, best player's choice, and best theme. Do you know what? I'm interested if we can chat. If it is Damien we're chatting to, I'm interested to know if one person can win all 3. Not because, but I'm just wondering if one person can win absolutely all 3.
So, like if you win one, does it exclude you from the other 2, or you can win all 3? And it is Damien that we will be speaking to on Tuesday.
There you go. We'll be able to pick his brain. Do you want to take us through how you score your 50 points maximum?
Yeah, so the point system's broken down into a few different tiers. So you've got the ready for war, so it's kind of the base standard for having them tabletop ready. So featuring clean base coats, basic detail work, and using effective techniques to ensure your miniatures are prepared to join the fight. It's as they state there, is the minimum standard for Arc40k. So everything, I believe, needs to be basically painted to this standard to play. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Or,
Yep. So if your army is, let's just say that 80% of your army is painted for ready for war, I'd say that your whole army is probably just going to get scored on that, because again, they talk about being cohesive across your whole list.
Yeah, 100%. And then so you've got Forged in Battle, so that's the next tier. So these miniatures showcase your growing skill, featuring bold highlights, strong shading, some more intricate details put into the model. Showing the effort that's been put into them, making them stand out just that little bit more. Then you've got Glory of the Faction, reserved for armies that are true showstoppers, immaculate details, cohesive themes, so as you were going on before, where everything's cohesive, and artistry, mastery to make these miniatures command attention on any battlefield.
Yep.
So, and this is their highest painted tier for the armies.
Yeah, well, and then you get the additional, so you can get a maximum of 8 points on this next one for the parade level. So you get 2 points for each, which is cool, because what it basically opens up is if you've got a specific paint style. Let's use me as an example. I don't typically have too much OSL. I don't typically have detailed grim dark effect. I occasionally have good weathering. That, again, that's subjective, right?
Yeah.
But I do have smooth glazing and painted shadows. I do have bright, crisp, super sharp edge highlights. So
So looking at this, you could potentially get 6 points for what you
I would probably get around 6 points. And this is one thing I'll touch on. If you want to try and win this, that's fantastic. But I personally think you should stay true to your own paint style, and you get scored what you get scored. Because, it could, in a way, let's just say you don't typically do OSL, and you might try and push some OSL onto some of your miniatures, and you don't do a fantastic job, and you feel a little bit let down, and then you might not get a score for it. I personally would just stick to your lane with how you paint your miniatures, and just go with that.
Yeah, 100%.
It would be good to challenge yourself as well, but I mean, yeah, I would stay true to myself.
And as I state before, having a cohesive theme across your army. So just trying to do a couple of models that don't quite tie into the rest of the army just to try and get those 2 extra points isn't necessarily the way to go.
Yep.
So,
before
and then they go on to... sorry. You go.
Yeah, before we go into that, let's skip over to the Player's Choice here. So the Player's Choice Award is a fiercely contested competition all by itself. So I think some people, when you look at sports as well, I think a lot of people almost hold a Player's Choice higher than I don't know, let's just say the Brownlow, if we're talking AFL, or maybe the MVP in the NBA. Let's use the MVP, because if there's people in America, they might understand. There's probably a Player's Choice Award in the NBA where people are just the players. I played that guy and he was way better. So this I can understand why it's a fiercely contested award, because that's one I would absolutely love to try and get. So It is one of the most prestigious awards for our Warhammer 40k hobby in Australia. Best believe if I go and win that, I'm going to be charging triple for my paint classes, guys, because I'm going to have awards then, and that's what people have been telling me. Nah, not because it's judged by a panel of experts, but because it is voted for among all the participants, the player's choice. Elaborate, breathtaking presentations of the hobby prowess have become a huge part of the parade of armies, which launches every Arc40k weekend. The parade is a time for participants to show off their army at its best before a single dice is rolled. There are no points awarded for scores deciding during the parade of armies. It's all about an immersive hobby presentation at the highest level. So be sure to walk around, take a good look, and vote. I thoroughly encourage people to do that. You should be voting on who you think has the best army there. We ask that you open the Arc Score app while the parade of armies is underway. Once you've decided what you believe is the best army on display, cast your vote. Simply choose the player's name that should be on display next to the entry. So BFG underscore Justin is the one you want to go for. All right, that's that's enough about that. We can go back up to the base coats there. Yep.
Yeah. So the previous points are basically on the models themselves. This series of points is to do with their bases. So your models are equipped. So you got basic bases. Your models are equipped with simple, effective bases that meet the tabletop standard, featuring a clean application of texture, some detailing, and a finished edge. So I think they're referring to actually having like that black painted edge on the base, like you always say always to do.
Yeah, I don't always say to do black. I like black because it separates the model from the table and everything. It's normally used for display painting, a black rim. Games Workshop specifically like to use Steel Legion drab because that's how they paint their bases. So it actually, for their photos and stuff, it actually looks better when you've got like a full army in a photo.
Yeah, because they're all the same.
Yep.
So you've got parade level bases. So these bases go beyond function and more than just standard bases. There's multiple textures, extra details, and creative elements like pigments and dramatic flair to your miniatures to enhance their presence on the battlefield. So obviously this would be open to interpretation, but I imagine with the first one, you're probably just talking a textured top. With the second one, you might be talking about grasses, maybe a few skulls in there, just those little extra details.
Yep.
And then you've got the bonus points on top of that. So there's a list of extra details, which I guess I've just mentioned a few of them there, which can push your bases from simple standards to like mini dioramas.
Yep.
And you can score 2 points for each visible element included.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I would personally just stick to my own thing. If that's how you paint your bases. Like some people go over love real elaborate bases anyway, so you're probably going to score maximum points with that. I think looking at my stuff, I'd maybe score a 6. I've got a little dog that wants to come in, so I'm just going to grab her because I can sit here and chat with her.
I'll go over army cohesion, what you do. So, so after your bases, you've got your army cohesion scoring. So it's only about 2 to 4 points. So it's just basically having a standard across the entire army. So consistent themes and storytelling elements across all your models. That'd be like having the same bases, same paint style across them. You get 2 points for your model sharing a basic theme, so matching colors, bases, insignia. And then you get 4 points for going past the basics with every detail. So with your conversions and your paint scheme, all telling a cohesive story to represent the faction that you're working with.
Yep.
And then this is one that might be the bane of Justin's existence, is doing a display board.
100%. Yeah. Yep. But I would say that you need one. If you are wanting to go and try and score highly in the point scores, display boards are a big one. Which again, I think display boards for me personally is a weird one. Not questioning that they should be in here as a point score system, but display boards for me sometimes take away from an army. But yeah, necessity, 100% necessity.
Yeah.
My board would be super simple because I want to really show off my miniatures, like the amount of work that goes in my miniatures. I don't want them to get lost on a display board.
Yeah. Just like your bases. You like your bases. They're not simple, but they're
No, they're simple. They are simple.
yeah. Okay, we'll call them simple. So you like your simple bases so you can focus on the model themselves.
Yeah.
But they do have a breakdown of points. So you get 2 points for having a functional board that enhances your army's representation and impact.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just the minimum that you can essentially get for doing a display board. As long as you do something, you get those points.
Yeah.
Then you get 4 points for a display board that goes above the extra mile. So with a clear idea, theme, terrain, and storytelling. So almost not doesn't need to be a diorama, but that sort of level where you are putting those extra details in.
Yeah.
And then you've got the display board bonus, which is, well, there you go. They state it there with a dynamic diorama sort of level with thematic elements, with faction-specific terrain and special effects or props and such.
Yeah. We want to start throwing some LEDs and smoke and all that type of stuff up there. That's what that'll be.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then you want to go over the top 15 armies?
Yep. The highest possible painting score used the above system is 43. So we might actually, potentially off stream run through it and come back and review what I think my army would be. You know?
That's cool.
But my team and I will be awarding bonus points to armies that go beyond the standard criteria. These are the armies with that extra. I can't even. What is that word? Is describable.
Indescribable, yeah.
Geez, that word doesn't look like indescribable. Wow factor that makes them truly exceptional. If your ARC scorecard is marked as a shortlisted, it means your army has caught the judge's attention and is being considered for bonus points in the categories below. Our judges will choose and place the top 15 armies. This is entirely subjective. Placed armies will then earn bonus points. So you could earn, you could earn up to 7 bonus points. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool just because the judges are like, yo, that's a sick list.
Yeah.
Yep. Then we've got a themed list. So I think themed lists personally for me come naturally. Like they're pretty easy. Think like a Demon Forge army that's run by Vashtor the Archifane or like an entire Ultramarines first company where they're all got white shoulder pads led by Rabute Gilliman. I think this is probably one of the easiest 10 points to get in terms of list building. However, if people are going and they're wanting to win battles, they're the people that might not be getting the 10 points because you start to deviate from what I would think is like a themed list, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you really want to play into your detachment. So think White Scars, absolute shit ton of bikes, or the Raven Guard, full Gravis army for Imperial Fists, like Farsight and just a bunch of Crisis suits. I think it's pretty easy to get a themed army out there. A full crude army, Marvin. A full crude army.
Yeah,
even.
full crude army. I mean, I have been thinking about with the rules and stuff entering in.
Hang on. What are you gonna enter with your crew?
Well, you wanted me to do the squad, right?
Yeah.
But they've updated the rules. So it's not on this, but a little bit of a sidetrack. So if you're going to paint a squad, they've introduced new rules this year because they had issues transporting the models and such. So the squad can't be any more than 10 this year because they felt it was unnecessary when there was more than that and it was hard to transport.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Which is reasonable, except for the fact that my Corridor gang is way more than 10.
You just picked 10 of your favorite though.
Yeah, 10 of the favorites. But I'm thinking I might do my crew count. I'm halfway through them, so I potentially might do them.
Yep.
Basically my thought process. But and they need to be able to be on a tray that transports them easily this year. So that way when they take them to the photo booth and such, they're not worrying about damaging your models.
Yep.
But yeah.
We've got additional info here. So stuff for the veterans. If you're new to it, you probably don't need to concern yourself with veterans, but know that they do start to award awards for people that have been to multiple arcs, which is which is phenomenal. Like that's, you know, rewarding loyalty right there, which is
that recognition.
Yeah. Dan's asking if people have terrain. If you have terrain and you're coming, then they probably want some of it. And then there's a bunch of stuff that you could lose points on Arc. So using recast models, no, not there. Illegal downloaded rulebooks or codex PDFs. Oh, that counts me out. Drinking alcohol. Sheesh, I'm losing points by the minute, eh? Sharing your sports score. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. And then not complying with COVID restrictions in place. That's probably from a few years back, I would say.
Year, but
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't bully people. Just be a good human being. Just be a good human being. And we have reached the bottom of the Players Pack. So that is the Players Pack, guys. Tickets for this will be going on sale at January 30th at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which I think is 9 a.m. Universal Time from memory. 9 a.m. Universal Time. No. 8. It'll be 8. So yeah, that's it, guys. That is our Players Pack. Tuesday, we'll be having a chat with Damien, the head paint judge. So Tuesday, today's Friday, so I don't know, do the maths. That'll be 4 days or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll
probably. So if you've got any questions about it, like so someone was mentioning with a, it wasn't kit bashing. I forgot what it was before. But,
yeah, it is Games Workshop models. Yep, Honeybeard is good. Games Workshop models. Yep.
But yeah, if you have any questions with how you can build your armies and whether you do conversions and such like that, yeah, feel free to shoot them in the chat on Tuesday and we can ask them directly.
Yeah. Yep. That is the end of this segment. So we'll bring the music back and we'll say goodbye to Marvin.
I'll catch you later.
All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll get back to this.
See ya.
See ya.